Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Now today I'm going to be showing you a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm going to keep this pretty short today. I've been putting loads of new stuff on my Gigapan site here, and I've got a couple of pans to show you. And for those of you who haven't seen it yet, come along and check out my new website. I built this about a week ago, and I've been adding loads and loads of material and information to this. It's an amalgamation of some of my older websites, which are now defunct. They were shut down basically by the company that got shut down. So I had to rebuild them into this one, okay? And there's loads of stuff on here. I'll show you more about that in a minute. First of all, I want to show you this. Now, this is a Gigapan I did the other day, and it shows some of the structures on Mount Sharp. And when you zoom in, you can see them up here on the mountainside. There's a dome here. There's another structure here. There's a dome there. There's a pyramid-shaped structure here. These aren't very clear because they're quite a long way off. There's a weird sort of sphinx-like mound here with a sort of animalistic shaped face on it, just here. Okay, I've shown these before. There it is. Very strange. Okay, so it's not the only sphinx that's been shown in this area. I've shown a few already. Some of them very large indeed. Okay, I've made many videos about those. But today we're looking at these domes. Now, Mount Sharp is absolutely covered in these structures. But usually from the ground, especially when we're near to at the base of Mount Sharp, it's very hard to see them. This image was taken from quite a long way back and then zoomed in from a slightly elevated position. So we can see across at the structures rather than trying to look up from down here, okay? And there's another view of this one here. This is from a different sol here, okay? This is from sol 184. This one here is sol 2287, okay? So this is quite a recent set of images here, but this one is much further back, going back many years now, but you can actually see it a lot more clearly just here. It's the same dome, but this one is a different view. Just here, and you can see it quite clearly. Now, this is a black and white image also. Unfortunately, there weren't very many colour images taken on this day, and the ones that it did take didn't zoom in, so it just looks like a tiny dot in the distance. But this one zoomed in, so we can actually see it. And this corresponds to some of the other images I've shown of Mount Sharp with these domes on, and I've got a whole bunch of them here. Now, this is an enhanced clip of that one there, I just showed you, and an enhanced clip of the one up here, okay? I actually did a video on this a couple of years back, 2 or 3 years ago, 2019, yeah. This is the kind of side angle of it here, and this is the other angle, which we can see in the main image at the top. And you can see that it's got smaller structures, square structures in front of it, which are kind of joined onto it, and it's got a point to it, okay? You can see a sort of point to the actual shape. Here, you can see that point on here, look, just there. So it's not round, it's kind of a pointed dome. That's what I called it, a pointed dome. Okay? And then there's a load more. There's another enhancement of that here. Okay? There's the black and white enhancement there. And you can see these pretty well, especially if you use the magnifier. You can see the actual separate structures in front of it, which are square, kind of blocks. And there's some interesting detail there, and then it comes up to a point. These shadows, I think, also represent part of the construction here, but they're out of focus, okay? And you can see the same details on this one, which is the side angle. You can see those block-like structures in front. It's a bit blurry on this one. These slopes here are only about 1.5 kilometers high from here to here. And obviously this mountain goes up to about about 5 kilometers high, approximately. Okay, the very tallest part of the mountain is not what we're looking at here. These are the lower slopes. So we've got domes there, and then we've got this one here. Now this one's in front of Mount Sharp, and you can't see it in the top image. This is a very similar shape, but nowhere near as big. This thing here I estimate to be 300 to 400 feet wide. okay, and probably a similar height as well. We're not seeing the whole thing, and in fact with this one you can see it from another angle here. Now all these images here are linked to the videos that I did about each thing, okay? So if you want to check out these, you can compare the different angles on different days, even different years, taken by the Curiosity rover from different levels of zoom. You can see them from all different angles, okay? So they're definitely there. And this I think is possibly the same, or maybe one of the same ones, with the two blocks in front of it there sticking up. But from this angle, when we see it, this lower part of this here is obscured by the mountain because we're too close to the mountain. This was taken from much further back where we can see the higher slopes, okay? And this I think is probably the same dome here, but this part of the mountain here is obscuring the lower detail, okay, because we're seeing it from a different elevation, right? When the rover came right along here, it took some images from this side over here, and we could see this one as well. So there's multiple domes up there, and it's about the same size, about 300 feet, 400 feet. But it's got this weird structure in front of it, like a sort of archway, which is very strange. Just here, you can see like an arch there. It's like an igloo kind of shape, very weird. And these are all over Mount Sharp, and we only occasionally see them when the rover kind of moves round and takes different angled shots of the mountain, because a lot of them are obscured by the mountainside itself, okay? There's also some in Jezero crater which are the same size here, which I've shown before. This is taken from satellite images. And then we have these. Now, these are what can be seen on Google Earth or Google Earth straight Mars, right? And there are millions of these domes or round bright objects in the northern hemisphere. They go right round, in fact. They go right round the melt zone area. And they're all about the same size, 300 or 400 feet wide. The same size as these here, and this one over here, okay? These are all these are the same one here. This is one that's lower down in front of Mount Sharp, okay? About the same size. And you can even see windows on this one, even in the raw clip here. Windows there, right? It's got this weird point to it. It's kind of domed, but this one looks more of a sort of random shape. But it's definitely an intelligent structure of some sort because it has these slots or windows, I called them, on the side here, okay? You can even see that there. And you can click on the link to check that out. And if you click on the links for the videos, in the video descriptions, there's always links to the images, not only these gigapans, but also the original images as well. So you can check out the gigapans of each individual thing as well, okay? So just follow the links and you'll find out all the information you need. Now, these are the same size, but are they the same? They're highly reflective. A lot of them look metallic. And I actually think a lot of these domes, or whatever they are made of metal or something very reflective. And you can see them in groups. And in many areas, they've got sand drifted over them. And they look just like kind of black dots on the ground. And in some areas, they look like this, okay? These, I think, are the same things. But these are covered in sand. And you can see where the sand's drifted behind them there. The wind's kind of blown the sand. These are the same size as these, right? Slightly different area, but the same region of Mars, the northern melt zones. And there are millions of them. And in many of the images that we see, they're literally covered in kind of loads and loads of sand. And they just look like kind of smudges, black or dark brown smudges on the ground, a bit like these here. But in some areas, the sand is blown away and they're quite clear and shiny like this and quite reflective. There's loads to see in here. This is a really cool video, this one, thousands of Mars domes. Then I did a part 2 to that, which goes into this stuff here as well. And this is part 2, which was called Millions of Mars Domes. And what we have here, these are different structures. These are much larger. These are something like 1,200 feet across in length and look a bit like a city. I'm not sure if they are, but there are also millions of these in some areas, but they're a bit further south than these ones here. And there's directions under the videos. If you want to follow the Google Earth coordinates, you can click on that. So all these things I'm showing you here have all got links. If you follow the links to the video, then go to the video. In those links, you will find links not only to the gigapans, but to the original images and satellite images as well as the images on the ground, okay? There's another one here. This is more of a kind of double pyramid structure, kind of dome-shaped thing, which is down at the base of Mount Sharp. And it's not far from this one here, okay? Now this one is much further over to the left of here, over this way to the left. This one here, the one with the windows here, and this one is even further over, about an extra mile or so further to the left again. This one here. This is one of the ones I sent to Ancient Aliens, which they showed. This one's got this weird kind of square entrance on it. Now this is huge. I would say this is also around the 300 feet sort of size, but it's much longer. About 300 feet high, maybe 2, not sure exactly, but much longer. And it's got like a double dome pyramid kind of shape to it. And if you look really carefully, you can actually see that there's a squarish kind of entrance type thing there. It's not very clear, but you can see it just here. See that outline? Like a doorway. And there's also, when you enhance this more, there are actually what look like window-shaped structures on the front of it here as well. So there's something interesting going on there. So there's loads of stuff to see there. So this will be the top link in the description. And I'm going to show you this very quickly. Now, this is something I showed years and years ago, probably back in 2014. This is what I called at the time a crashed aircraft, or aircraft wreckage. Okay, and I did a raw one and an enhanced one. This is the enhanced one, and this is the raw one. Let's look at the enhanced one because it's better. Now, this is before we get to Mount Sharp. This is the lake bed area, right? And right at the back here, you've got these weird sort of domes, right, like this one. But Mount Sharp is up here. The wreckage is here. Now, this is even quite clear in the raw image. You can see it really clearly. And if you use the magnifier, hover zoom magnifier, you can see that there's windows at the front here. It's got a straight back, it's broken in the middle, and there's another piece over here, okay? But you're better off looking at this one, because it's brighter. Let's go back a little bit, right? We've got a front kind of pointed nose area here, be like a Concorde or aeroplane with windows either side. And we've got a straight back, we've got a broken section here, and then the back section here, okay? And you can see texture on here, like it's got tiles or something on it. Now, I call this a crashed aircraft. I don't know if it is. It's something that shape. I called it that because of the nose, what looks like a nose shape to it here. So this may be some kind of crashed craft, like an aircraft, or it may be an upturned boat. And I've shown many, many upturned and wrecked and half-buried boats in this area, right? Including on this ridgeline. There's one right here. So it may be, this may actually be a boat wreck or shipwreck that's turned and flipped upside down. And these may just be kind of holes in the front, I don't know. But either way, it's either a structure or it's a wreck of some kind of thing like a ship or perhaps an aircraft, I don't know. And there's loads of weird white objects in front of it as well. So you can actually check this video out by following the link here. If you go to the left, right over here, there's an enhanced clip here, and there'll be a link there, okay? You can even see, if you look really carefully, you can even see what looks like something in the window area there, if you look really closely, just here. There's some detail in there. It's very strange. And I go into that a lot more in the original video. But there's also some other weird things in this gigapan as well. Now that's one part of the gigapan, and that's Mount Sharp in the background there. Now the rover also took a load of images here looking the opposite way, okay, looking north. This is kind of a north view. This is like a south view, okay, the one at the top. And in the north view here, this is another video I did 2 or 3 years ago, and I think it was called The Lurking Lizard. Now, this is really strange, and I still don't know whether this is or not, but it's very, very odd. Now, like I said in the original video, this may be an optical illusion of some sort, where we have something in front here and then something behind, but it's very odd because it seems to have the shape of a kind of dinosaur-shaped kind of lizard or something. Okay, it's very weird, and you can see the eye, that dark thing, that may be the eye, but this may be something to do with it as well. But there's complex stuff going on here, and it's quite blurry. There's also this weird kind of like tent-shaped roof structure, or whatever it is, which is really interesting. That's part of a structure, okay? Let's go a bit closer. There it is. And it's got this part on top here, like a bar going across. And then we have this kind of box shape to it. And there's something very weird in front of it there as well. And I've got a clip of that over here as well. So you can see these things here. There's the raw clip there of the lizard. This will link you to the video, by the way. There's a link here. Okay. There's the weird lizard thing, which may be an optical trick, I don't know. But when you really push the contrast, you can see this weird round object in front of it there, which may be attached, I don't know. There's very, very odd stuff going on here. So that was really strange. And then we have that kind of structure with the kind of angled side to it like that, like a kind of tipped over or lean-to kind of structure. It's weird. It's weird the way it leans over like that. But it's got a nice right angle there and a kind of bar going across the top, okay? And there seems to be something right in front of it there, which I didn't notice before until now. If you look just here, there's a round thing with 2 round holes in it, or dark patches, which may be something, I don't know, but it's very vague. But there's something there, okay? So that's really cool. This was one I did also a few years ago, but I've been going back through all these images and I'm uploading gigapans to the gigapan site so that they can link to the videos on my new website, okay? So most of the videos on here will have a gigapan link in the description, which I put up recently. There's tons of stuff on this website, okay? And there's something for everyone here. And a lot of people think I only do videos about statues and skulls and stuff. There's probably over 100 on here, probably 200 about structures and pyramids and stuff like that, like buildings, construction, on the moon as well, not just Mars. And of course then we have the things like sphinxes and animals and statues, people, cities, okay? So if you don't believe in the animals and sphinxes, then you might believe in the buildings, and if you don't believe in the buildings, you might believe in the weaponry lying around on the ground. If you don't believe in the weaponry and vehicles lying around on the ground, you might believe in the boats and ships that are lying around, and other wreckage, or the objects, or the helmets, or the glyphs and writing, okay, or the tombs which are exposed, burials everywhere, okay? So the point is, all these things actually verify each other by the very fact that they can all be found in the same sort of area. And you can kind of flick through and just get an idea. If you're new to this channel, I recommend this, because this will give you an idea of some of the things I've done recently. This is just about 40 or 50 images of some of my thumbnails showing some of the things I've shown recently in the last few years, okay, like the buildings and stuff. That head there, that head is in Jezero crater and is over, I would say, it's over 20 inches high. It may be 24 inches, which means it's very, very large indeed, okay? That there, and you can use the magnifier to look at these things. This head is absolutely huge, right? You can see the eyes and the nose and the mouth. Very strange. I think that's mummified. And then we have carvings like this one. There's the cylinder. There's loads of stuff here. There's glyphs, sphinxes, heads like this one. This is a great find, one of my favourites from IC Devices, I think, found this a few years ago. this weird kind of wheel-shaped object, or spokes in a rock, like a fossilized mechanism. Okay, that's really cool. One of the best finds, I think, of that year, that was. Got artwork, things like this kind of huge chair, which is carved out of what looks like petrified wood, or it was carved out of wood which then became petrified. Very strange. So this may be crystallized wood, okay? And more and more of the same. I mean, there's loads of stuff here, okay? And those domes that I showed you some of them, be actual plants like these. And there are also millions of these in some areas. So some of those shiny domes may be these, but a different type, okay? Because some of these are yellow. Some are kind of orange like this, like a deep orangey red. But some are yellow, and some have got a greeny yellow colour, and are very bright. And I think some of those domes we see in the northern hemisphere, which there are millions of, may be related to these, okay? Who knows? But there's something very strange going on. They're either buildings or they're plants, or a bit of both. Right? They're the same size, same spacing as these here as well, okay? So they may be related. Now, so not all of these may be buildings. Some of them may look like this, these domes here, but some of them may actually look more like this, okay, when you get up close to them. But some of them are kind of a yellowy, bright, shiny yellow colour, and they're highly reflective, and they look kind of metallic from the satellite images. But what they may be is actual giant fruit like these are, or cacti, right? Either a different breed of these or a different type that are much more reflective. So this would explain why some of them are very reflective and some of them are quite dark. There's different types, and also some of them are probably covered in layers of sand, okay? So they're all over Mars. And NASA's very good at avoiding them, okay, for some reason. They never seem to study these images properly and compare one area to another like I do. So what they're up to, I don't know. Answers on the postcard as usual. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Smash that like button, and I will see you soon.